We have so much to celebrate in our lives right now. We just hit our 50 state goal in our over a year-long journey, and I've just published my first knitting pattern in more than a year. So I decided to take the opportunity of a slower travel and work day to sort of romanticize day-to-day life and get some of my knitting projects in order. So I'm kind of showing you everything today.
Hi, gorgeous. I love you. I love you.
Even romanticizing putting away things and doing the dishes, which I'm about to do here in just a bit. The day that I'm filming this, we are actually in our 49th state of New Hampshire, but as I'm recording the voiceover, we are in our 50th state of Vermont. It's wild to me that it's already been more than a year of travel and that we have visited and been in all 50 states. We still have more to this journey to do. We still have more states to film in. We're going to be filming in Vermont. We're going to be filming at Rhinebeck in New York. We're going to be filming at another yarn store in New York City. We have New Jersey. We have Ohio. And we will round out the year with South Carolina. And then, and only then, will we officially be done. But I'm still kind of wrapping my mind around the fact that we've actually visited all 50 states at this point. It's kind of wild. It feels like when we started out that we were never quite going to get to this point, and here we are, and it feels amazing. Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont have all been just so beautiful this time of year. The leaves are absolutely incredible. Ghosties?
Right here.
Where the ghosties are?
What?
I see it, I see it, I see it. It says, does it say closed? Does it say closed? I see sheep.
It does say closed.
No. So we were just driving down the road and Kent spotted this place that said yarn shop. And he tells me all the time that he sees places that say yarn when he doesn't really see places that say yarn. But this time he was telling the truth. So I said, let's turn around and check it out. And unfortunately, they were closed, but they weren't closed for the day. I was able to reach them via email. So we're actually gonna head back there in just a second. But the first thing we wanted to do was drive around and check out Dartmouth. This is the Dartmouth campus, and we thought it would be cool to see this kind of college town. It's very quaint and very New England. And about a half hour later, we turned around and came right back to the yarn shop. We got to meet the owner, Meg. This is her farm, and later you'll see her Shetland sheep. But she opened up this shop just this summer, and it is a beautiful place. You pull in, you see their farm, the sheep come up buying to you, and then you go into the shop and they have, of course, their own yarns. So these yarns are really high quality from their own Shetland sheep. They're all natural colors, at least that we're seeing here. Oh, and these are Meg's 5 daughters, which is why they're called 5 Sisters Farm Yarn. Meg said she set out to create a jumper weight yarn, which is traditionally what's used for color work, so it pairs really well with other color work yarns you may like Jamieson and Smith and other ones that you may have seen. She also started dyeing some of her own yarns, so these are her yarns, her lighter ones that she has over dyed for color work. And these are some of the babies. So they're really little because they're the little guys. But there were more sheep. There was like a really big ram that we saw.
Hi. Hi.
It's a really cool spot, and it's only 15 minutes away from the Woolly Thistle, so if you ever come out and you are visiting New Hampshire shops, definitely come by and check them out.
Hey.
Another cool thing that they've done is they have partnered with a local designer named Mona Zilla, who goes by Bunny Muff, and she has made a bunch of different patterns for them. They also have these kits, and I'm sorry I can't tell you exactly if the kits and that designer are the same person, but I know that they have multiple different things going on with lots of pattern ideas.
Yeah, I think the darker color, because that'll be super different than anything
How
that
many
I
do you
have.
need?
4,
Dang.
which is not bad actually for a sweater. I mean, they have a lot of yardage on them, and it will be extra. It's super pretty.
And here's what I'm planning to make with that beautiful yarn. After our impromptu yarn store visit, we drove to our next stopping point, which happens to be a brewery that Kent wanted to check out. He's trying to go to breweries, or at least try a beer in all 50 states, whereas I'm doing the yarn thing, he's got his own thing. So he made me a quesadilla for lunch and then left me and Toaster to our own devices. I decided to get a little work done, and then it was finally time to organize my projects. I'm sure I'm not the only one that this happens to, but I feel like every so often, like every couple of weeks, I just need to empty all my project bags out. They've kind of gotten like mixed and matched, and I just needed a reset. I needed that project bag to only have the one project in it, and right now they were kind of all over the place. Like I was finding a sock in, one pair of the sock in one bag and one pair in the other, and it was just all such a mess. So this is me getting everything cleaned up and prepared together because I wanted to do that before I started my new project. Also, I want you to tell me in the comments what's the strangest thing you've ever found in your project bag, because this is a piece to our water filter and it might be the strangest thing that I have found yet. While we're on the road, I really can't get my projects exactly the way that I would want them to be. Like you just saw me pull out an unfinished, unblocked Musselburgh hat that I finished a little while ago. Also, here's some gum. Here's some gum in my bag. But I just can't do everything exactly how I want to do it. Sometimes there's just not time, space, or water when it comes to blocking. And while it bums me out a little bit, I am, of course, always looking on the positive side. So appreciating all the amazing things that we're going to get to do and knowing that I can block these projects later. So kind of thinking once we get to our Rhinebeck house, I'll block that hat and then maybe I can wear it one day for Rhinebeck. Now that those are all sorted and cleaned up, I did find one more thing that I wanted to work on, and those are my Halloween socks. But I have to do a little bit more work because I've got a pattern coming out. So I'm settling in to work on my Winter Magic sock. It was actually coming out the very next day that I filmed this, so I got it all uploaded and ready on Ravelry, so all I had to do is press a button in the morning. And once I got that finished, I decided I wanted to do some knitting, but it still wasn't time to cast on that new project yet. I still had more things on my to-do list, and one of those things was to finish the second sock. I did not have the second sock finished. Of course, it's the same as the first one, pretty much, so it didn't really need to be finished in order for the pattern to come out, but it felt kind of weird to not have the second sock finished before the pattern. So my goal was to get it done on this day. Toaster and I decided to join Kent inside for a little bit. So this is really cool. This is a municipal airport, so it's a really tiny airport that also has a brewery, and they're connected. And so you can see the runway from the brewery. So Kent decided to show Toaster what he was missing out on from being so short down on the ground. A little while later, we have made it to our next stop, which is the gym, and I finished the foot of my sock, but I actually decided I would save the toe for the next morning. So after a workout and a shower, it's finally time to cast on my Salty Days sweater. I made this swatch, I don't even know, it's been at least a few weeks. It's totally blocked. I just needed to measure it again to make sure I was getting gauge before casting on tonight. But I really wanted to cast on this sweater because it's been something I've wanted to start in October. It's already the middle of October at this point, and I just felt like waiting, there was no real reason for me to wait anymore. Like I was in a good spot with my project. So getting it cast on tonight was totally just a little treat that I needed to get, again, just celebrate all the good things that are happening in our life right now. I didn't make it very far on the back of the sweater, but coming up, there are so many fun, cool things in the sweater. There's texture, there's lace. I'm just so excited to start on it. I wish I could tell you that you can see more in this week's podcast, but honestly, I haven't worked on it much since then. So next week's podcast, episode 250, I'm hoping to have a lot more to show you on it. With that, it's time to head to bed. Thank you so much for watching today's cozy vlog. I hope you have a great one.